Hello, mi gente. Welcome back. How you doing? I hope you enjoyed the Boruto episode that came out this week, because I enjoyed it very much. The first part of the episode was kind of garbage, just a little slow, okay? But we're not gonna knock it down, because they came back strong. They came back strong as fuck. Now, obviously, if you guys haven't watched the episode, I'm gonna recommend you click out the video, watch the episode, then come back. Of course, you could decide to just watch the episode and then, never watch the video, but that's fine too. Now, it starts slow. Boruto's watching a movie of like some weird hero, and it's a typical corny hero movie, and it goes from that to them talking about the eye power and stuff, because I'm not gonna go through every little scene of the episode, you know what I'm saying? So they go from that to talking about the shadow and how Boruto can see it and the eye power, and he's talking to Chikadai, and basically the main thing here is, does Boruto want to include other people in this? Does he want to include the adults into this issue so that way they can help him resolve it? But he understands that if he does that, the adults are going to tell him to stay out of it because it's just a kid, and that they're going to fix it. So Boruto wants to basically figure out what's going on, because he wants to deal with it himself by his own hands, because he's upset that this has been happening to his own friends. And I get it, I get it. I think it's a stupid idea, though. I think it'd be cool if he included, the adults, but then in his own way, on his own separate way, decided to do something about it too on the side. That'd be kind of cool. But he actually does his shadow clone jutsu, which I never understand what's the purpose of that, to be honest. Like shadow clone jutsu is you, like it's literally you. You're talking to yourself, right? So, he does that, and then he's trying to kind of figure out the conditions behind people getting controlled, and he actually deducts it pretty well. He's like, it seems to be something like emotional, or something with the emotion, because no matter how skilled the person is, they can get affected. All right, because Shino is a very skilled ninja. He fought in the 4th Ninja War and everything, and he still was affected. And it's the same thing with the Ninja Academy students, right? So the way he's seeing it is, it affected anywhere from people that are weak to people that are strong. So it doesn't matter if they're skilled or not. And that was a really nice deduction, to be honest. It made Boruto actually look a little better than what he normally looks like. To me, I feel like they make him look like a goofball more often than like a smart kid. So that was a nice thing. Then we go to a scene where he goes to sleep, and then he has a weird dream where somebody tells him about the eye power, and tells him that the eye power is this thing that is gonna save the world from destruction at some point in time. And the guy, if you guys watched Naruto the movie, if you guys watched that movie, you know who that is, okay? It's Toneri. So that was pretty dope. When I saw that, I paused the fucking episode and I was like, holy shit, because I wasn't expecting it, like that was actually a pretty cool thing they did, because I did read the spoilers for the specific episode, but I didn't think Toneri was gonna be the one in the dream, which was awesome. But then the episode kind of shift into this like comedy thing where Boruto's acting like the hero he saw from the movie earlier in the episode, and he was acting like a fruitcake to me, in my opinion. I was like, oh my god, can you stop this? Because this is kind of cringy. But I understand that we're doing it for comedic purposes, so I'm not gonna knock it down too much. But then it shifts back into the topic, the main topic. So he tells Naruto, who had just arrived with Shikamaru, to the house, and Hinata's there and Himawari's there, and he's like, I'll awaken the Byakugan, right? So Naruto tells Boruto, listen, if that were true, it means you would have had to have training, like intense training, in order to awaken it and whatnot. Because apparently, in order to awaken the Byakugan, you need to go through really, really intense training in order to awaken it and be able to actually use it. So basically, they weren't really believing Boruto. You get what I'm saying? They did say, well, Himawari unlocked it, and that was kind of like a rare case, but basically they were saying, we don't believe you, Boruto, right? So that kind of got Boruto upset. And the one thing that I really did like, they were kind of doing this throwback thing for the people that know about like part 1 Naruto, where Naruto stole the scroll, the secret scroll of sealing or whatever the fuck it was. And they were making a little joke about it. I really like that, because you would only really understand it if you like been a fan from way back, right? But that's besides the point. They're like, okay, Hinata's like, I'm gonna set up an appointment for you to see your grandfather, who is the head of the Hyuga, right? So that way he could see if you actually do have the Byakugan. And we actually got to see Hanabi as an adult, and then we get to see, you know, Hanabi, Hinata's dad. And I'm gonna tell you, dude, when I first saw him, I'm like, who the fuck is this? The guy from part 1 Naruto? You know, the old Hyuga guy from obviously the Hyuga clan that you saw in part 1 Naruto that was always next to Hinata's dad? I thought that was him for a moment. I was like, yo, is this motherfucker still alive? But no, it was Hinata's dad, dude. And that kind of threw me off, but it was kind of cool to see too, because it surprised me. And basically they go and talk, and then Hinata's dad, or you know what, let's just call him Boruto's grandfather, right? Let's just call him the grandfather. Alright, so the grandfather tells Boruto, listen, not every Hyuga member can awaken their Byakugan. And that shit also threw me back. I was like, wait, are you telling me that if you're a full-blooded Hyuga clan member, you might not be able to awaken this shit, even though your blood is 100% Hyuga? Unless you go through training and all this other bullshit, you cannot awaken the Byakugan? That sounded so odd to me, dude, because when it came to like the eye powers, I assumed that as long as you have the blood of that specific clan, you could have it, right? Like, you know, for example, the Uchiha clan, they all had the fucking Sharingan. They all had it, all of them. So I just assumed that it was the same thing with the Hyuga clan, but I guess not. And it gets Boruto a little like down. He looks down. You can't even see his eyes or whatever. They're making sure you understand that, like, obviously hearing that kind of bothered him. But then, you know, his grandfather steps out and tells him, let's test out if you actually do have the Byakugan. And then the episode ends, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, this episode was really, really nice, because there was so many different like scenes and so many shifts into like what the actual thing was. For example, at first it was very slow, but then it went to the main thing, which was the whole thing with the eye power and the shadow. And then it went to like this comedic part, which I didn't really like too much, but I understood why they did it. And then it went back to the main topic. And then now we're gonna get the preview to the next week's episode. And I gotta say that next week's episode looks promising. It looks just as good as this week's episode, if not better. And I'm hoping that it is. I'm hoping that it is, because these past 2 or 3 episodes have been kind of repetitive, a little too repetitive, you know, with the whole, okay, Boruto's eye power just randomly awakens when he sees a shadow. You know, it got a little boring, to be honest, so I'm glad they're kind of shifting it and giving us another side of the coin, I guess, and not throwing it in our face as much, even though we did see his eye power here, but it wasn't like as much of a thing as on the past episodes. But let me know what you guys thought of the episode, alright? I'm gonna leave it here. I'm out. Peace.